గోల్డ్ ట్రస్టెడ్ గోల్డ్ బయర్స్ తాకట్టులో ఉన్న బంగారాన్ని విడిపించి ఈ రోజు ఉన్న మార్కెట్ ధరకే కొనబడును. మరిన్ని వివరాలకు సంప్రదించండి 7771077720.
CII ఈవెంట్ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ గవర్నమెంట్ చాలా ప్రెస్టీజియస్గా తీసుకుంది. ప్రస్తుతం మనతో పాటు అమరావతి ఇన్నోవేషన్ హబ్ CEO రవి గారు ఉన్నారు, ఆయనతో మాట్లాడదు. సో అసలు ఎలాంటి ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ తీసుకురాబోతున్నారు ఇక్కడ?
రిగార్డింగ్ స్టార్టప్స్, నేను ఐ హ్యాండిల్ స్టార్టప్స్ అండి. ఐఎమ్ ద CEO ఫర్ రతన్ టాటా ఇన్నోవేషన్ హబ్ విశాఖపట్నం, North Coastal Andhra, which is about 6 districts. The startup ecosystem investments ante, this is going to be a corporate-led innovation ecosystem, which is a little bit different. Honorable CM Gari vision of one family, one entrepreneur. Dani aina vision ki diniga. One of his favorite projects and great idea is to set up a Ratan Tata Innovation Hub across the state. There's one hub at Amaravati and another 5 spokes across the state. And I lead the Vizag spoke, which is North Andhra, about 6 districts under the control. So mass entrepreneurship to startups, innovation, incubation, accelerating right from idea to a commercialization stage, from early stage startups to growth stage startups, and to create a big startup ecosystem is the intent, Andy. So this could be right from next generation high-tech startups like Nichi. It could also be startups in the space of agriculture, rural, tribal anything that leads to tribal produce. And of course next gen tech, it could be life sciences, sports and logistics, marine, name it. It's multi-sector, or multi-dimensional, multi-disciplinary and sort of a startup ecosystem approach with access to labs, mentoring. So sort of. అంటే
ఇప్పుడు ఇన్వెస్టర్స్ వరల్డ్ మొత్తం ఉన్న ఇన్వెస్టర్స్ ఇక్కడికి వచ్చారు. వై ఏపీ, వై వైజాగ్ అంటే ఏం చెప్తారు మీరు?
Okay, yeah. I would probably question back, why not Vizag? Because I have set up the Tech Mahindra, when it was Satyam, I was the guy who set up the GCC in Vizag. I was the first employee. So when we had set it up, I remember it was a 960 sort of a checklist that I had to take care of. There's so much of due diligence they do before somebody takes a decision to go to and invest in a city. Which means with respect to hard infrastructure, soft infrastructure, climatic conditions, weather conditions, to what happened in the last 40 years. So much of data that you have to give regarding the location, talent availability, to what's everything. It's a huge exercise running into a few months to a year of due diligence before somebody takes a decision. But when companies like Google and Infosys to TCS to Cognizant to already existing, you can say Tech Mahindra to Wipros and all this exist. I'm talking just the IT part of it, because I was the founding president of ITAP, which is the IT Association of Andhra Pradesh. So when that happens, it becomes a discussion in the boardroom. If Google has come into Vizag and they're investing so big, are we missing out something? And it makes it easier for somebody to go, because I as a member, if I want to invest in a place A, I have to convince my board to take a decision. And it becomes easier if a big company is already invested there, because they must have already done. They don't just do investments like that because somebody has
policies and
everything. It's just not only policies, to geopolitical ecosystems, to what is a good state to invest in, why Vizag, the infra, which is again hard infra, and on the soft infra. Soft infra is people, social infrastructure and all that stuff. ఇవన్నీ చూస్తారండి. ఇవన్నీ చూసిన తర్వాత then they will take a decision, yes, I'm coming. It's just not that, because one is of course the readiness of the government to work along with you and support you, and the speed at which AP is now working is important, but it's just not that. But there's a lot of factors avanni teeskoni appudu invest chestaru. So when big companies start investing, it becomes pretty easy for others to follow. So they've done their homework. Because it's not when tons of money is coming in, they're responsible to they're answerable to the board, and the CEO is answerable to the board as well as to the investors. So it becomes very critical. So when one big company is this thing, the others follow. So the multiplier effect will now start kicking in. Tipping point on top. There is up to one stage, it takes a little bit of hard work to reach a specific level, but after that it becomes quickly, it multiplies itself. So I'm seeing the tipping point now happening. I think it's great days for Vizag ahead.
అంటే స్టార్టప్ సీఈఓ అంటున్నారు, అంటే స్టార్టప్ కంపెనీస్కి గవర్నమెంట్ ఎలా సపోర్ట్ చేస్తుంది, ఈ గవర్నమెంట్ నుంచి ఎలాంటి సపోర్ట్ వస్తుంది మీకు అసలు?
Oh, there is you'll have to actually go through anybody who is looking to start up in Vizag or in AP as such. They have to look into the Startup 24-29 policy, which is the new one. Right from support, like, see, a startup usually, I feel, also as an investor in a startup, I can say there are three major factors a startup considers before 3 to 4. You can say 3 is, for me, it is basically mentors. I will get the right people who can talk to me and guide me on the right things, what to do, what not to do also. 2 is, of course, market access. Am I getting any access to buyers in the local ecosystem? Third thing is money, funding. Of course, fourth thing is infrastructure. So these are the things that are critical for a startup to take a decision to work from a specific state or for a specific place. Now, with respect to the startup policy, when you're talking mentoring, creating a huge database of this thing, because corporate-driven innovation, now we are talking about, in the RTH framework, 15 large companies. You're talking Tata Sons, L&T, Adani's, to JSW, to Bharat Forge, to Greenco, to ONGC, to GAIL, to GMR Group, to ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel, big names, Amar Raja Batteries, to all the big mega engineering. So such big names you're associated with, and the mentors coming from those, and mentoring not only the direction where the innovation is going, but also unna startups in kuda mentor cheyadaniki huge networks coming in. Then of course, market access is all these corporates, along with the government has come with a great policy, which is basically GovTech policy అని రీసెంట్గా వచ్చింది. దాని ముందు it's coming out, and before that preferred market access. అంటే ఒక స్టార్టప్, ఒక గవర్నమెంట్ is now giving out problem statements, and if you are able to solve, you need not be a what do you call it, a tender, mali you don't need to go through the process. Government can give you work orders up to 1 crore without how old are you as a company, how much of turnover you have, how much EMD you have paid. Any restrictions level. Directly, if you are a good qualified startup, you will get a work order up to the value of 1 crore. So that's the new policy. Funding, yes, there are so many programs that RTH is now starting, right from idea to our prototype for future founders and start. Then next level is Catalyst, which is from prototype all the way up to commercialization. And once you commercialize and you want to scale up, there is some program called Velocity. So there are multiple programs at multiple levels. Even at the very early stage, Spark ani early stage, just to give awareness about what entrepreneurship is. So any programs, there are things at all the stage. Okay. Right. Yeah. So these programs are all there, which are supported by qualifying funds.
అంటే హైదరాబాద్ని అమరావతిని, వైజాగ్ని ఇంకో హైదరాబాద్ హైటెక్ సిటీలా చేస్తా అని చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు గారు అంటున్నారు. ఇది ఎప్పుడులోపు అయ్యిద్దని మీరు అనుకుంటున్నారు? యాజ్ యు ఆర్ ఫ్రమ్ వైజాగ్, ఆల్ దీస్ కంపెనీస్ ఆర్ కమింగ్ టు వైజాగ్.
See, it takes time to go to a certain point of this thing. That's what I was talking about. అంటే మీకు టిప్పింగ్ పాయింట్ అని ఉంటుంది. అంతవరకు it takes a little bit of lot of hard work to reach that point. I think all the hard work that is shown in the same government in the previous term, and what has they started off in the last 1 year or so, all that has now come to a stage where now it will accelerate. Now with the big names all coming in, with so many things that are happening, it's just a matter of time, then it will accelerate. Next 2 to 3 years will be a big acceleration point for Vizag.
అంటే మీరు లాస్ట్ ఇయర్ సమిట్ కూడా అటెండ్ అయ్యి ఉంటారు, అండ్ వైసీపీ గవర్నమెంట్ ఇస్ దిస్ టైమ్ ఇట్స్ టీడీపీ గవర్నమెంట్. ఆ సమిట్కి ఈ సమిట్కి డిఫరెన్స్ ఏంటి?
See, I don't want to make any political statements here, but intent of the government towards development, I think that's a big this thing, and the speed at which not only ease of doing business, but at the speed at which you react, the way in which you reach out to get the big guys in, all that stuff. I think this government has got, the intent is more, there's clarity in thought, and there's more intent in bringing the investments into the state is, I think, is the big difference, and that's what investor would look at. When you come into a state and you're putting tons of money, you would want that because you are evaluating your investment across all the multiple options that you have across India. So attracting a big company to come and start off in AP is not it's not easy. It's not a joke. So people believe in governments, and then they come and they do all the risk analysis and then come and invest in a place. So with the intent and the drive that is has right from the vision of the leader and all that is much bigger. Just I'm not comparing with the previous governments and all that, but it's also comparing with the existing states across the country. You're competing with them, and we have been able to convince a lot of people as to why it should be AP and why it should be Vizag, and we've been successful. I think a great kudos to the government doing a great job.
థ్యాంక్ యూ. ఇన్వెస్టర్స్ అందరికీ, స్టార్టప్స్ అందరికీ వైజాగ్ ఈజ్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద బెస్ట్ ప్లేసెస్ అని సిబిఎన్ అంటున్నారు. చూద్దాం మరి 2 daysలో ఎంత ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ తీసుకొస్తారు. సైనింగ్ ఆఫ్ అథా మొహమ్మద్, విశాఖపట్నం.
చరిత్ర సృష్టించినోడు ఇప్పుడు ఆ చరిత్రని తిరగరాయబోతున్నాడు. అబద్ధాల గోడల్ని బద్దలు కొట్టి నిజాలను రాగా మీ ముందుంచబోతున్నాడు. నిజమైన వార్తల కోసం వెంటనే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి రా యాప్ని.